Hello and welcome to this video where we are going to be learning how to calculate the slope of a line. So here we have an XY axis and here we have a red line, and I want to find out what the slope of this line is. Now, before you ask what is slope, slope is a number that tells us how steep a line is, okay? So the slope will tell us the bigger the number, the steeper the line, okay? So this line here is pretty steep. Like if you imagine that this line was a mountain and you were climbing up this mountain and this was the bottom down here. Oh, sorry, I have to select this one. This was the bottom of the mountain down here and this was the top of the mountain and you were trying to go up this line, you were trying to go up this mountain, it's pretty steep. So that means that the slope will be a slightly bigger number. Now, it won't be huge, but say if you had a mountain that was only like that, and that was the top and that was the bottom, and you were going up this, it wouldn't be as steep. So the slope would be lower for this line here compared to the red line here. So that's what slope tells us. Slope tells us how steep a line is. And if the line is going up like this one here is, so if the line is going up, we say that this line is going up. If it's going from the left to the right and it's going up, we say it's going up. If you have a line that's like this on the left, we say it's going down. So if you have a slope, or if you have a line, sorry, that is going up, your slope will always be a plus number. And if you have a line that's going down, your slope will be a minus number. But you don't have to worry about that today, because today we're only going to look at positive slopes. We're only going to look at lines that go up like this. Okay, so how do we figure out the slope of a line? How do we calculate it? Well, we use something called rise over run. Okay, that's going to be our formula. I'm just going to write slope here. So in order to find out the slope, we have to find out the rise and we have to put it over the run. So what we do is we come to our line you can see here the red line, and you pick a point on the line, okay? So you pick a point maybe like here. You see where I drew the yellow? I drew a yellow dot just here. And you may say to yourself, why did you choose that dot? So I chose that dot because the red line is going through the corner perfectly, which means that I could have chosen, for example, I could have chosen this dot if I wanted, or I could have chosen this dot. Like I could have put a dot there or there. I could also put a dot here if I wanted, but I wouldn't put a dot here where I'm putting the X. I wouldn't put one here, and I wouldn't put one here because it's not going through a corner, okay? I want to put the first dot through one of these corners, okay? I'm not going to put it anywhere else. I'm going to put it either, for example, here. I might put it here, or here, or here, 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 and all the way down. I won't put it here, I won't put it here, because it doesn't go through a corner perfectly. Now let me just get rid of those dots. Okay, so I've put my first dot down here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line going down. All right, I'm just going to draw a line going down from that dot, straight down. And I'm going to keep an eye to the left. All right, because what I'm going to do is when I see that I've drawn the line level with, say, this line here, I'm going to draw a line across. So what I did was there, I saw the dot here and I drew a line down, and I stopped here because I can see that if I go across to here, there's another point where the red line goes perfectly through the corner. I'll do this again further down the line. So I choose my dot here, and I drop the line down, and I can see, oh, it's level with this dot. Okay, now you could also draw a longer line. So for example, you could go down 1, 2, 3, 4. You could go down and make a much bigger line, as long as you stop when it's level with this dot here. So it's level with where the red line goes through the corner. Okay, let's have a look. We could do an even bigger one if we wanted, but we'll just leave it for the moment. Okay, so I've drawn, as you can see, I've drawn a triangle. Here I've got a smaller triangle. Here I have another small triangle, and here I have a slightly bigger triangle. Now you only have to do this once, okay? You don't have to do this 3 times. It's just important that when you're drawing the lines, they're straight. So this line here was straight down, and this line here was straight across, because we're going to be making a right angle triangle. So now we have our small little triangle. So I want to see how long this side is and how long this side is. So what I do is I just count the boxes. So I can see here I have 1 box here, and I have the second box here. And then I have 1 box here. So what that means is I have 2 boxes in height, and I have 1 box going across. All right? So this bottom bit is what we call the run. And this top bit, this bit going up, this is what we call the rise. So now we have the rise and the run. All I do is I say slope equals the rise, which is 2, over the run, which is 1. And in fractions, 2 over 1 is the same as saying 2. So the slope of this line is 2. Now, what happens if you had made a bigger triangle? What happens if you had drawn a dot here and gone all the way down to here and then all the way across? Say you drew a triangle like that. Well, let's count how many squares it is tall. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that it is 4 tall and 1, 2. 2 across. Okay, so the height here, this is the rise, and this here across is the run. Okay, so let's do this sum. The slope equals the rise over the run. The rise is 4, the run is 2. Now this is a fraction, and we can divide 4 by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So that means that the slope is 2. So what that means is it doesn't matter if you do a smaller triangle like this one here, or you do a bigger triangle like this one here, you should get the same answer. You should get the same slope, because this line is a straight line and the slope is the same for any point on the line. I could take it even further. I could start here and I could try and go down to here, say. All right, I could go down here, and then I can go across, and this is a bigger triangle. And this triangle here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 tall, and 1, 2, 3, 3 across. And this is the rise here, the height, and this is the run. So our slope is the rise over the run. The rise of this one is 6 and the run is 3, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So again, our slope is 2. So now that you know that, I am going to leave 1 or 2 questions, 1 or 2 lines attached to the Google Classroom. And there'll be lines like this, and I want you to figure out the slope of the line using this method. There's only going to be 2 other lines, okay? And that'll be it for today. Have a great weekend, and we'll be practicing this again on Monday because the slope is really important, and it might just take a little bit of practice to get it right. If you're stuck, you can email me or leave a comment in Google Classroom, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great weekend.